Alright, this is, I think it's episode 5. Episode 5 of my Let's Program Together Breakout. And rather than going ahead and finishing up next. Rather than going ahead and finishing up the refactoring, I think we're going to just, we're going to just go ahead and move forward. That's interesting. I have a lot of life hacker and TED Talk suggestions, and I've never seen that one pop up. Yeah, episode 4 was the last one, so we're going to start with episode 5. So, as is becoming the norm, shortly after closing the last video, I found the solution, and it was really, really obvious, and that was I had key down twice instead of key up on releasing direction. Pardon me. And where was I hitting? Was that in paddle? No, that was in game. That was in game. Yeah. This here, this else if event type, this was key down. Just change that to a key up. Everything will work just fine right after that. And something that I wanted to do, especially when I'm recording, it's prevalent. Oops. I changed the star to an address right there. Oh, guess we have to have a star. It's a pointer anyway, so whatever. Yeah, this sometimes stutters and gets really, really, really janky, so I think that's because I have loops and loops and loops, this while loop. And realistically, while this is related to update, we don't need to do this in every update. So we're going to strip this out, and we're going to add handle input or something. Void handle input, and we'll implement that. Void game handle input, and then we'll just paste that right on back. And so that it's not going through every single loop right before we call update in run. The heck is that? I should actually put this up closer so I don't have to do the forward declaration. That's what that's called. Forward declaration. I think a couple episodes back I was trying to think of what that was called. See, there it is. Do you see that minus sign? Why is it doing that? Probably because WX widgets is junk. I really wish code blocks would get away from WX widgets, but what can you do? And something that we're going to take a note of, see, we changed everything to be under a hierarchy of entity. Ball and paddle belong to, or I guess you could say are a type of entity, but nothing really changed other than reducing the amount of code redundancy in paddle and ball. We stripped some out, but that didn't really quite change or make our life any easier programming wise, right? That just kind of deleted some code that we typed, which I guess you could say complicated things. So, and that's going to be part of a later future refactoring thing. Make entity class worth it, aka and so that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to pretty much throw everything in as an entity so that it makes our code simpler and better, so that eventually we should be able to just go like that. But I don't think that would even work, because what did we have entity in as? I know that the ball won't work because update and move require a paddle, which we're going to probably change that. I haven't thought of a clean solution to handle detection, so I don't know quite what to do. But we'll get there on that episode. So right now we're going to just focus on getting Breakout done, and on later episodes, after we have the core idea of what Breakout is, that's when we'll take a look at the big picture and we'll start throwing things into nice compartments and cleaning everything up. I just wasted 5 minutes explaining all of that with nothing done. So, with the agenda done and this updated, let's move on to our next task, and that would be colliding with the paddle. So I think we threw in, it knows about the paddle. That's what we just changed, right? That's what I just, yeah, so ball update. We have to make it so that move is aware of paddle. Another thing I really don't want to do, but once we get to that refactor episode, things should get cleaner. I'll have to take a lot of paper notes for that, but it'll be worth it in the end. So let's go ahead and get underway for collision detection with our paddle so that we can start smacking the ball around, because that sounds like it's actually a game. Right now we're just kind of interacting with a paddle and watching some graphics go on the screen. In our move, right after we apply collision X, yeah, here we go. Okay, right after we update our X and our Y, that's where we're going to test for the collision. So we have to know about paddle here. I wish you could autocomplete all the stuff that was in the definition, or the declaration in the definition. You know, it's suggesting, that's kind of cool. It's suggesting all of this, but I wish it would just type that for me. It's like, well, why not? Oop. Make sure it's running. And of course it's not. Operand is const paddle. Well, can I just pass it along then? I'm trying to throw my hand in between. Okay, we lost input. That's because I didn't close the program. Shut it down. Shut it down. I love that show. I need to finish that show. So let's go ahead into game CPP, and we need to handle input. I mean, yeah. Handle input. Yeah, Rock 30 is a brilliant show, and I miss that show. Okay, so now we have something going on. Now we can go back into ball CPP and we can actually start handling collisions, and we're going to have to know a couple of things. And paddle is pretty well safeguarded. There's not much to really quite interface with it from outside sources, and what I mean by that is there's no real info we can extract from it, right? Because everything that is public are just its methods. We can move it, but I don't want to do that. An entity, yeah, everything is protected. So what we should do is get a couple of details from it, right? How do I want to do this? All right. I suppose we can This returns a pointer. Get collision box, maybe? And then we should also return the velocity, right? SDL. No, 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 no. What are you doing? Okay. I don't like getters and setters either. But it's a necessary evil at the time being because I just care about getting a game up and running. Maybe that's to my detriment, but that's the way I go. No, no, no. We don't care about acceleration. We need velocity. What are you doing? And so this is going to be used to modify the ball. So hopefully with any luck, we can actually sort of kind of set the ball on a new trajectory by moving the paddle right before smacking into it, right? So that if you say smack into it while flying left, regardless of where the ball is going, you'll kind of make it deviate slightly left. So if it's coming in from the right, it'll deflect and naturally want to go left. It should go further left so that it's hitting the wall more times before it hits the top of the screen. Or if it's coming from the left and it wants to go to the right, but you're going to the left, you'll kind of like offset that right bound and center its trajectory a little bit more, or something to that effect. And I'm not really quite sure how to do that, so you're going to witness me trying to figure that out on screen, which might, again, at the risk of my expense, waste this entire episode on one small task. But that's the point. That's what this whole thing is about, is documenting my thought process and how I figure things out. And I don't want to bore people with my reading, so I try to do some reading beforehand, and then maybe try to like discover and say, oh, okay, I understand, but I need to modify it for my own purposes, right? So let's go ahead and go, oh, bother. Oh, we need to implement that. Shoot. Is that in paddle? Did I put that? That was an entity. Okay, let's, yeah. Get collision box. I don't, no, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead. SDL rect entity get collision box, and then we'll just return the address of collision box. Did I type that right? Is that what that is called? Collision. It's just called collision. I should change that to box. Yeah, because collision's just too ambiguous. There's nothing descriptive about a collision. Like, how are you a collision? A collision isn't a tangible thing, or an imaginative thing, I guess. It's an action. It's a result. And now I have to change a lot of code. So let's just go through really quick, sort out that. I suppose I could have just did a find and replace, and that probably would have been a lot safer than the last time I did that, where I just totaled everything. Here's a box. When I finish typing something, I wish that would just get out of my way. I hate pressing escape so I can get out of the autocomplete. I think that's everything. Nope. Right there. That should be everything. Yokes. Okay, now this should, what was I doing here? That's right, I was going to start dealing with, the paddle and how to detect a collision box there. No such operator. Can I just return it? I don't think so. You can't do an ampersand for returning an address, can you? I've broken so many things. Oh, I have to do that with every one? Nothing's different, so let me just check something quick. Ball and paddles. Okay, so they're not the same, but paddle could probably be thrown into just an entity constructor, and we could just get rid of that. Okay. Ops. You know, I think there should be a new rule where people don't program when they're tired, because it's almost worse than being drunk and programming, because at least I can understand to some small margin of a degree what I was intending on doing when I was drunk, but when I am tired, I lose my train of thought. Or maybe it's because I'm talking. Talking takes some mental focus, believe it or not. At least on my end it does. So that interaction with an audience while while doing all of this definitely destroys, because then I have to think about what am I talking about next, and then not only that, I have to also think about like what am I going to talk about next, or what am I trying to describe, but also what it is I need to accomplish and how to accomplish it on a programming level. See, for debugging, it's kind of nice because then I can talk, and it's the rubber duck debugging. I can talk to you, the viewers. Oh, speaking of, I need to recommend, so the whole point of this is one game a quarter challenge, and I can't go back and do this in episode 1, so it's on episode 5, and I apologize for that, but this is something that I am doing in tandem with a buddy of mine, and hopefully another buddy of mine, Jay and Randy, where we just, make a game every 3 months, and try to build up our knowledge of game dev, and hopefully maybe even a small library of code that we can use for future projects. So I have yeah, I'm not gonna find my buddy. I'll have to link his channel in the now I'm gonna have boxing recommendations, aren't I? I'll link his channel in the description. And he's doing this in tandem with video uploads, and so maybe subscribe to him or watch his video, and you can see 2 different takes on how to do Breakout or one game a quarter as we go along this year of 2018. And yeah, I think that'd be kind of neat to see the different strokes for different folks. The idea is that you can code many different ways to get to what you need to do. So I need to actually start typing code. Paddle collision box. Oh my gosh. Box equals. Is that passed by? Yeah. Okay. Get collision box. Hopefully that works. I don't know. I think I have to make this const though. Alright, so assuming this code works, we have a copy of the collision box for the paddle, and now we need to test if oh, this is going to be janky as heck because I can't remember how to do that. So let's think about this on a paint level. Can I get a bigger canvas? Yeah. Okay. Do I have a square tool? I do. Okay. Let's do paddle as red, or ball as red. Yeah. Okay. and then paddle as blue. That's not at all what I wanted to do. Alright, let's do this. Okay. So the idea is we now need to test, is the box inside the box? And that would be, so if you remember the top left corner right here, that's, let's go with that. This right here, do I have my tablet on hand? No, where did I hide? I'll have to find that. I have a drawing tablet somewhere for writing. I don't know where it is. So you're gonna have to deal with my penmanship on mouse. God, that's so horrible. This is 0, 0 on a local scale. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna do it. I'll just point and you'll have to take my word on it. This here is 0, 0. And so that means this is 0 plus the object's height, 0 plus the object's, object's width, comma 0, and object's width, comma object's height, right? Same thing for here. We need to test if at any point in time the balls, any one of these corners pretty much intersects or enters this here box. I don't even know if SDL has that. You know, they have like a point in, they have some intersection, has intersection, right? Maybe this is it. Returns SDL true. You can't just return true, can you? Of course not. That might be even a type def, but intersect rect. Well, what's this? Oh, okay. This returns a rect. Or you can not return. You can grab the area of intersection, capture it through a parameter. Okay, so what we probably could just do is SDL has intersection A, B, and hopefully that's just a type def bool. If not, we'll write a quick one. SDL has, what was it? Rect has I can't remember, and I just looked at it. SDL has intersection. Okay. Section, and we'll pass in we'll pass in this. Ball isn't a pointer, but this is a pointer. This collision box. And for the second one, we will throw in paddle collision box, right? And so this would evaluate true if at any point in time there's a collision. And so what we can do then is, okay, can I go something simple as, say, first we need to, okay, so if we're going to modify the trajectory, then that means I have to handle this in the right order. I believe we need to flip its velocity. X times equals -1. Velocity y times equals -1. Right? Because we need to send the ball back up, and we need to send the ball either left or right. But then we also need to go plus equals, and while paddle.get velocity y. Yeah. And while we're not doing anything with this yet, this is going to be down a future road. I know it. I'm going to add a swing, so that you can actually like press or hold space and get kind of like a backswing to send that ball sailing upwards a little bit faster. I thought that would be kind of cool. Don't tell me that's just simply it. Okay. Let's read this here. In the constructor, that's just a warning. Warning. Error. SDL rect is protected. That's because I am not a smart person. We need to make our interfaces public. I need to move those up. It bothers me when the constructor and the destructor are not. I wasn't sure what I did there. The first things. And I'm sure the other classes are like that. I'm just too afraid to look right now. Passing const this qualifier permission something nonsense. We're not returning a const back. Probably could, probably should. What am I doing wrong? Passing const paddle as this argument discards qualifiers. I don't really quite know what you mean. So why don't you describe it to me more? Collision box is protected. Within what context? Why is my keyboard? Oh, well, why didn't I just do that? Can I just simply do that? Why am I capturing? Okay. And see, this is what I was kind of worried about. Passing const paddle as this argument disqualifies. Okay, well, I mean, I can just simply go that. Okay. It's still popping up. Do I have to return a pointer? No, they are the pointers, so we can return an address. Okay, let's see this. Cannot convert SDL rect to const. I don't think I have to type const in that. I think I have to pass the address or something. And I don't think you can simply do something as the ampersand in C++. I think you actually have to use the pointer to dereference, and therefore I think they have to be pointers to begin with, so there we have a problem. Because I don't think they are pointers. Yeah, they're not. What am I doing wrong? If all else fails, I'll just type my own damn thing. Cannot convert a rect to a const rect for argument. Well, fine. I'll just type my own. Blackjack and hookers. Okay. Let's just write our own. I'm not going to piddle with that. So, if how do we do this? No. So this collision box dot x. I need to think about how to do this now. Okay, so this x. No, this, we're doing the ball first. If this x plus the width okay. I think this is how we do it. If this x is coming from the left because graphics programming is this is the top left 0, 0, not the center. The top left is 0, 0. So if the x is the left side has to be within this range, so that means if it is greater than the other one, is greater than paddle collision box. That's a pointer, isn't it? Yeah. X. And okay, so now that we know that it's within its X range, collision box dot X is less than paddle. Drop this down. Right? And collision box dot y is greater than paddle. No. Okay, so but greater than means that it's down. So yeah, this means that it would have to be within. I think. Friends don't let friends program tired. Stop. Okay. If all of that's true, then I think that means that we're within range to doing a collision, and we can go. Hooray. Oh. Okay. I would be very super confused if this works, because I can't write anything that works the first time through. Passing const paddle as this argument disqualifies permissions in call to get collision box. We're not going to be modifying it anyway, and I don't think. I need to read up on how to return addresses and capture the address to things better, because that just wasn't working, and I was hoping I wouldn't have to copy over 4 variables with a function. So we'll add that to our to-do, assuming I can get this to work. And then I'm going to have to eventually go through and look at all, yeah, see this? All of these little code things I left for myself to change down the road. I need to go through and make sure I make those changes, so. Alright. Still not working. Passing const paddle as this argument discards qualifiers f permissive. Am I not doing something right? Because it's a public reference to. I'm so annoyed at this right now. We've been going for 30 minutes and I've got so little to show for it, but. So there's a problem here. STLRect paddle collision box equals paddle.get collision box. I'm gonna kill something. Alright. Can I do that? Probably not. Thank God for Control Z. Nope. Width. Okay. Still didn't work. Because const paddle that was passed through here. I'm just gonna delete this stupid. It was probably this. You can't even call. I'm using constant incorrectly. If you can't call a method from a stinking constant reference, then oh my gosh, I'm using constant correctly. Which I think I said 2 episodes ago. I am not very const aware. Sure. I don't want to go back and type all of that all over again. Oh, you've got to be kidding. You would do the slowest angle. I need to fix that so the ball never starts at something that wildly different. We're going to just quickly restart it. Okay, so we got a hooray. Okay. We got a hooray. Oh, yeah, let's add that. Collide with paddle. Okay, well, we technically got that. And this is going to be refactor episode. There. Alright. Correct const usage with... I'm going to use WRT with respect to paddle ball. Okay. Right, that's our... I'm going to make this stand out a bit more. Okay, that's our to-do list. Collide with paddle is technically kind of done, but we aren't doing anything, so I'm not going to count it. We need to now go something like, say, how did I do that before? I was like, velocity x plus equals paddle dot get velocity x, something like that. But we need to flip, right? Times equals -1 velocity y times equals -1. So we need to flip it because, pardon me, because the paddle's movement. Okay, so if you're moving left, yeah, we need to flip it first so that because the ball wants to naturally flip no matter what. So we need to change it to positive or negative, and then we need to apply the velocity of the paddle afterwards to skew that trajectory, if that makes any amount of sense. If you were to do that afterwards, I think it would be almost kind of like additive in that it would have that reverse effect. So let's say that the paddle is, let's say that this ball is going this way. It should reflect that way, but if you were to flip afterwards, I think it would go this way, which wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But what do I know? I might be off on that. I might have that whole idea backwards. It might be going the other way. Velocity x plus equals undefined reference to entity get velocity x. Did I not define those? No, I did not. Okay. float entity get velocity x. Why do I always type a blank line? Return velocity x float entity get. While I'm on this, return, and I know, I see. I need to change that to a y. Okay. Okay. And while I have that, with respect to getters and setters, how about we do that, right? Because it's not just collision now. Now we have to get the velocity, which I guess is being used for the purpose of that. Shoot, we just missed the ball. Okay, well, that didn't do anything. Oh, we just sent the ball. It disappeared. Why did it disappear? Huh. Let's go ahead and still output. Hooray. Okay, because I don't know if I have my collision, the whole bounding box thing, I'm not confident I typed that incorrectly. I hate those trajectories so much. Okay, we'll catch it right there. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Okay, we did affect the trajectory some, so I sent that thing smacking sideways so hard. But why isn't it doing anything there? It's nothing. Nothing. What is it doing? I'm modifying it a little bit, but it's not really quite doing much. Huh. Okay, so we're not actually dealing with anything. Can I... Let's see if I can't step through some code, and we'll figure this out eventually. Okay. Pardon me. I'm gonna get some apple juice going. Okay. Not available in the current context. Locals. Can I dereference? Update? Nothing. Paddle. Entity. The paddle has a velocity of 0.2. That shouldn't even be anything worth a darn anyway. That should be 0. So we're not initializing that properly or something. Paddle should have a perfect 0. Oh, sorry, I was just admiring data. Velocity x. Velocity y. Interesting. It's 0. Now why would that be? Well, let's just quickly look at move. X plus equals velocity. Oh. Okay. All right. We're not doing anything with velocity. We're not doing anything at all with velocity. Now, do these need to go in a certain location? Okay, I can't think at the moment, so I might just change acceleration, but we're using this entirely wrong. Velocity never changes. Hey, speaking of, where are you, paddle? I see you. Oop. Velocity x equals velocity y equals 0.0f. Okay. Yeah, velocity and okay, so if you plus equals, and that needs to go by x equals velocity. I need to refer upon that a little bit better. Let's just copy how it's handling with the screens for now, because that's... How did I send the ball sailing outside of the screen? More interestingly enough, I guess I was adding a ridiculous amount. I don't know. Alright, so let's just change this to acceleration. And I know I'm using this incorrectly. I am so using this incorrectly. So guess what? It's time for another comment suggestion. We need to use velocity, not acceleration. There. I wanted to type something in reference to The Office, but it's probably not PG appropriate. And then we need to go ahead and... Dang it. How is paddle handling? Yeah, okay, so we are dealing with paddle properly. Just not ball. That means we're going to have to go something like, say, acceleration. Acceleration. This is probably going to be way too much. Of course it would have a retarded angle. Yeah. Yeah, that, I like that. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can't tell me that's not kind of cool. I don't want to hit it on the corner. I want to hit it smack kind of dead set on. Good, okay. But did you notice... Where is it going ever? It's not reflecting if I'm at a state of 0. Let's just... Can I get one where it hits it smack dab? Let's see what happens if it hits me kind of like dead set on, if it ever really will. Yeah, it's not gonna. Let's go where it's gonna go, right? Okay, that did send it off properly. The problem is though, if we're practically not moving, it doesn't really quite work properly. Why will it never? Oh, here we go. Yeah, see? I did not touch the arrow key. I had a velocity of 0, allegedly. It should have been, and it reflected. The problem is, We need to do this only if, I think, if paddle dot get velocity x does not equal 0. I think. I don't know. We'll have to do something similar with the y. My gosh, that thing is just moving. Okay, but I wanted it to bounce off the corner, except that involves treating this thing as a circle, so... Is that because there's 2 collisions handling all at once? How long have I been going? It has to be close to an hour. Yeah, 50 minutes, and we've barely gotten a collision to work. Oh, and it's moving slow. Not anymore. That is very annoying. So we need to do a couple of things. Do I want to... I'm not... Jeez Louise. I mean, that's about as realistic as it can get, though. Okay, but I want to intercept it going left when it's... I want to intercept it at an opposite direction. So it's going to go over here, and then, like, that is not how I wanted to deal with that. What happens if I go the same? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, this way. It sends it back, and if I follow the trajectory, what will it reverse? I missed it. So it's going to come this way. Let's send the paddle slightly, and it sends it the same way. Okay, so if you go in the same way, it sends it the same way, and it just kind of speeds it up. If you're going in an opposite direction, it sends it back. Now, why can't I get... This is what we need to cap. Okay. Alright. Yeah. For now. And I don't know if I'm doing this right. Someone might have to tell me. Okay. That's what we need to cap. In fact, so that I know that it's linked with that better, let's just do that. Okay. Should I add some drag, though? The decay... 0.99 times... Do I have a calculator open? 0.99 times 16 is going to be somewhere around 16. So we don't want to do that. Yeah, we'll just do that for now. What are you doing? It's never going to hit me, is it? It came close. It's so annoying how it very rarely ever hits the center. Okay. Perfect. It rebounded just right. I think. If I do this, it'll send it back. It's kind of cool to me. The only problem though is it goes a little bit too fast. So what we need to do is acceleration times delta divided by delta. I don't know. Will this actually do anything? I don't know. How do I, stop going in the corners. That went the wrong way. That went the wrong way entirely. Yeah, I don't know why that's doing that. Right has a problem. So if you're moving right, that's a positive, and if it's moving right, that's a positive. So no, going the opposite, just, I don't know. I think that's about all we have for this episode, though. It's about an hour long, and I don't want to go too much further on. But let's take a small victory in that we have Collide with Paddle, the one and only to-do, done. And let's add some new ones. We have a bug with paddle and ball acceleration. Can I go like likewise or something? Bug. Something like that, right? And that's not happening fully, so we have a bug there. And I don't know if I'm doing delta right here. We need to normalize some things. But that's going to be in a refactor episode. Handle delta and pixels per second. Okay. And before we can do that, or maybe after, frames per second semi-fixed. Okay. So I think that's all for today's episode. We kind of have the groundwork for a pretty good paddle game going up. Tomorrow we'll probably do God, that's just fun to watch. It's way too much person, and that slowed it down. I don't know. We're going to add bricks with collisions and disappearing. Basically, the fundamental idea behind Breakout should be finished by tomorrow, and after that, or not tomorrow, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I'm going to try to do videos, and if I miss a day, then it'll count. I'll try very, very hard to do 3 days a week. I'll try hard to do them on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and if I miss one, I'll try to make up for it on another day, but there might be some weeks where I just miss a video, and it might be 1 or 2, or if life gets in the way, 0. I'll fight to make up for it as soon as I can, but I mean, we never know, right? Life throws curveballs, so yeah. The core principle behind Breakout should be done on the next video, and then we'll do in the following ones we'll do our polishing, cleaning up, and refactoring. So we got to do text, audio, scores, and then cleaning everything up, and then and only then will we start adding neat features. Teehee. Surprise addition, but it's not super surprise. It's swing paddle. All right, so that's today's episode. That's our agenda next time. I leave you off with that. We're about an hour, so we're 8 minutes under before previous episodes. So I'm gonna close out of this and probably get some notes taken and try to solve that bug off screen. See you guys later.